Well, I wanted to try and keep it a bit positive. I know there's a lot of dark stuff going on, but I mentioned in the comments earlier, just because I was talking with a buddy of mine, if I was the only one noticing that it seems like the world is changing very quickly, and unfortunately, and it's going towards a dark place. You know, we're seeing a lot of these same changes, a lot of the same meanness and cruelty, not just here in our country, in our neighbors, Canada, but across the world. And it seems it's the same things being pushed across. And it's a little concerning, and it just feels like uh, it's just a small group of people making these huge giant changes, and it feels like the way they're doing this is by getting all of us, the majority, to fight amongst each other over whatever they can find, whatever thing they can find to divide us over, you know, politics, religion, anything, the color you wear, the silliest things. And you know, I know a lot of us at this point are aware of it, but it's just insane how well this tactic is working.
Yep, I see it all the time now in the real world. It's upsetting. James, can you hear?
Yeah, I can
Okay,
hear
so
now, by the way. And I got, I think I got all the relevant details there.
We're just talking about like the division is really bad. People are on edge. Obviously, we're all like we've been thrown into our own camps politically, which we shouldn't have. Although we understand the issues with the left and they are completely deranged.
Yes.
But it's happening on the right too. The right is dividing. The left has been dividing itself. I think it has to do with a lot of nihilism. A lot of meaninglessness.
Yes.
I think it has to do with the economy. Everyone is suffering. I mean, most people. The middle class has been effectively destroyed for the past 2 decades, but the last 5 years, the middle class took a real bad hit, especially during lockdowns when a lot of the mom and pop shops were completely shuttered and they couldn't come back, and a lot of the bigger corporations just invaded every town, like Walmarts and Home Depots, which is a bummer. As someone who worked at a hardware store for 4 years, I love the little mom and pop stuff like that. So people are having a hard time surviving. And now everyone sees each other as a political enemy, and everyone's got boogeymen, rightfully so. And like today, I was out at this one store, and someone ran into me who like knew what I do, and they had some questions about human cloning. So I'm in the supermarket being like, yes, I do think Avril was cloned. Yep. And, I do think Obama was cloned. I'm not, there's other people. And then the conversation shifted to like what I'm really kind of worried about right now, outside of all that stuff and politics and everything, like the assassination of Charlie Kirk, all this stuff is like the data centers that are destroying the landscape and all the farmland that's disappearing. And this place I was at is typically, it's got a lot of like way left-leaning people. It's like one of these cafes, that's just ran by leftists.
You have to have a MacBook to enter.
Yeah.
They like scan you to make sure you go through a metal detector. And if there's no MacBook, they turn you around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm having this conversation. I'm very open about Christ to this person who, is doing there and all this stuff that I think is important. Then it went to the data centers. And the person behind the counter was like definitely a leftist, was very intrigued by the data centers thing. Because we could agree on that. I'm like, wow, we could find some way to come together on this issue, which I think is very important because it's going to destroy all farmland. At some point, it's happening.
What is?
Data centers.
Data centers, yeah.
They're taking over. So I'm like, I'm
but
trying to find
those.
Eat
the bugs, though.
That's right. Well, that's fine. That is
yeah.
fine. We could each eat the bugs. But I'm like, I don't think me and this person will agree on most things. Religion, how to raise children, if they even want children, because they're probably insane into abortion. But I'm like, I am always still looking for ways that we can come together to some degree. And, like I was talking about a week or two ago, and we don't have to be climate alarmists, but the data centers and what I was saying earlier about DuPont and all these other corporations that have mutilated this country and poisoned everyone, that's something we could actually like band together on and
until Trump agrees with us, and then they will never agree with you. As soon as Trump goes, the data centers are eating the farmland, they're going to say, wow, this is fascist rhetoric.
Yep. And
this is what Hitler said. Hitler was concerned about data centers eating up farmland, actually. Famously so.
Seriously, dude. Seriously. So, yeah, I mean, I'm noticing, and just finish that little story about me in this cafe. Right, I was having this good feeling about, wow, we can find something to agree on, data centers and stuff. Literally, 2 minutes later, someone else walked into the store that knew what I did. This doesn't happen all the time, but it's very strange. And I don't like it. It's weird. Someone else totally and said, "F Tim Pool,
no.
hate that guy," and like stormed out of the place. I'm like, okay, it balanced out. It balanced out, So I'm like, okay, that's fine. Now I feel good. It's all balancing out. But Dude, the rage is horrible. And I think that has something to do with the car crash like epidemic we're seeing. I don't know if you've seen this, but like I have been seeing more car crashes than ever. Just on Friday, I was stuck behind 2 awful car crashes on the same day. Surge was behind a car crash on one of the highways out here.
Well, that's because with the government shutdown, we lost ground traffic control.
Bro.
So people are not able to tell you.
Literally, it's insane. So yeah, dude, you're not alone. I mean, everyone's feeling that. Like Seamus, I'm sure you're seeing it in your travels.
The car crashes?
Not just that, but just
I
like the
haven't noticed, to
division,
be
the
honest.
rage.
Oh, for sure, I've seen the division.
Leprechauns
and the
don't
rage.
drive. We know that
No, yeah,
much.
exactly. I just hop on my little trail of rainbow light and
Yes.
zoom off to wherever I'm going. Hi, I'm going to go get me gold for Twisted Plots so I can make it. TwistedPlots.com. So the issue is, I agree with you. There's something you mentioned earlier. As soon as I was able to hear you first, and I'm trying to remember the exact thing you said, but I wanted to respond to it. The thoughts escaped me at this point.
Division.
It wasn't about division.
Data centers.
Because I
was me.
because I love division. So it wasn't about that. It was something.
Oh, the same changes around the world.
Oh, a lot of
the-
changes. So you mentioned we're seeing a lot of changes. I was talking to my buddy Matt Frad the other day, and he's
Just name dropping.
a Catholic podcaster,
Seamus is
really
just
cool guy. Just name dropping here. Tim Pool, was talking to Matt Frad the other day, and one thing he's like, it feels like every 6 months we're in a different world.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I said, that's because the scenery changes really fast when you're rolling downhill. Like, yeah, everything's changing. That's not good. It's not because there's just a bunch of progress, unfortunately. Maybe I think there's some progress in some areas. I'm not a total pessimist. But I think the reason a lot of things are changing quickly is because it's all just falling apart. I think we're in that. I think that's what time it is.
Yeah, I am worried about beyond the data centers, attach those to the people building them. And then just today I was reading in the Wall Street Journal this story with Sam Altman and one of his new businesses. I think it's called Preventive, which is a embryo editing company.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yes, agreed. And he
edit
literally
undo. gonna change that one.
he's literally quoted as saying this will accelerate evolution.
And now what happens when AI starts editing embryos?
That's what's
and then
gonna happen.
creates biomechanisms in its image and likeness.
Yep. So I think that's part of these like massive changes as well. There's lots of
By
changes.
the way, I just want to say, if I said any of this 4 years ago, people would go schizo.
Yep.
But now that's all completely within the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
They still are, but we take them less seriously because AI does exist and embryo editing does exist, and it's not like those two technologies are never going to coalesce.
Yeah, they're building like the new future that is dystopian, and they want you to think it's normal, but it's completely antithetical to humanity. And so it's that stuff happening at a rapid clip now that is changing the future, changing our very day-to-day life, with the data centers, all these farmlands being sold off. But on top of that, all the crazy leftist ideology we've kind of been sifting through for, decades, but it's accelerated. That's accelerated in the past 10, 15 years. So it's like it's a completely different world than what we grew up in. And I think every generation
Yes.
can probably say that. However, the problem now is we are actually inheriting a world where not we, but like the colloquial we have deconstructed the essence, like what it means to be a human.
Yep.
What like reality is. We live in separate realities. We're interdimensional now. So it's like
That's
a way
true.
more existential crisis. And I think that's what's making this all seem so much worse.
The most important thing to keep in mind is that most of the AI that you think is AI, it's a bunch of Indians in a data center typing to you. It's all of it. And so when they say they're gonna have to get rid of farmland, they're actually just shoving a bunch of H-1Bs into like a box and telling you it's a server and they have a little keyboard. And that's what's actually happening. So the AI threat is not going to be impossible to defeat.
It'll be easy if you put it like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Sweet.
It is freaky. I think, listen, I know everyone here is very black-pilled on AI, and I also am black-pilled by the technology insofar as who we know it's going to be used by.
Mm-hmm.
I feel the way about AI that I do about guns. I think it unleashes an incredible technological destructive power, the likes of which the world hadn't seen prior. And we want
guns
to
are
make sure it's
awesome.
in the right hands. Well, that's the thing. Guns are awesome when they're in the right hands. They're not awesome when they're pointed at you.
Guns for everyone. If everyone had guns, it'd be all
And
right.
that's the thing is that's exactly right because you can defend yourself.
Right.
How do we ensure that everyone has equal AI power for defense, right?
Yeah.
It's just I don't know that you can.
And I'm sorry if I've taken what you said and I'm just projecting my own fears about the world changing with the AI stuff. But I do think it's important to talk about. I do think it's changing. The people building it are literally telling us they're summoning the demon. This is going to change the social contract of society. And the guns, I get the reference, but even like they themselves, someone like Alex Karp from Palantir, they call themselves Manhattan Project 2.0. So they see this as an atom bomb,
Yes.
but it's a different kind because this one is going to destroy us from inside out. And then the outside in. So I don't know I hope that answered your question to some degree.
Oh, absolutely. If I may though, I don't think all is lost. To end on a positive note, one of the things I noticed, and that's the reason I brought this subject up, is one of my battle buddies that I deployed with overseas, one of my bestest friends in the whole world. I hadn't talked to him in about 7 years because we had a fallen, and I reached out because I missed him and I wanted to make sure he was all right. And we talked, and it was still the same guy that, I deployed with, my best friend.
Yep.
And during our talk, I noticed certain ideologies and politics were coming out, and it took me by surprise because I did not expect that from him, and it was the complete opposite, and I did not agree with a lot of the stuff he was saying, but it made me realize in that moment, and unfortunately it took that moment to make me realize that even though he believes something that I don't agree with, that's still my best friend in there. That's still the same good man that I, deployed with, saw a lot of good actions come from him. I think some people have just fallen into some of these traps, including myself. I've been upset with family members because, of politics and stuff like that. And it's making me realize that these are just traps that are being set up for us to divide us. But I feel like there's hope because of things like what you guys do, just talking about things. Communicating is an extremely powerful tool that, as simple as communicating is, I think it can topple all of the garbage that these globalists are pushing. And I think that's why people like Charlie Kirk were such a big threat. Just communicating alone was touching people.
Yes.
So I don't think all is lost. I think there's hope. People like yourselves, that work so hard and talk about things and are open-minded and are open to discussion. I think that's the key to getting out of this mess.
Totally agree, man.
Yeah.
I think we've got to remember that. There's a lot of people who wrote me off the last 5 years, family and friends.
Especially me, dude, because I was like sick of you talking about how awesome polyamory is. Dude, I'm not going to like your polycule meeting, and there was, oh my gosh, it was so bizarre, man.
Thank you for the conversion therapy.
And then exactly. Then I had a kind of then Father Ripperger came. We did an exorcism on Shane. And
we filmed it. We'll do that behind a paywall, of course.
By the way, it was actually it was awesome that Father Ripperger came the other day. He's an awesome man, great priest. Yeah. But anyway, so yes, sorry Shane, you were talking about being written off, and then I made fun of you. So
as you should. That is only right. But I agree, man. We gotta talk. People gotta remember that. It's just the people that I can't find that common ground with, that I don't have over at the house anymore, the ones who are openly okay with hurting children.
That's right.
Like, yes. And they think it's childcare. I think it's abuse. But that is kind of rare now in my friend circles, and I have friends and family who we disagree on politically. But I'm trying to find common ground with them, and it's tough. But we have to find it because the division is going to be bad.
And also, I appreciate you drawing a line too. You mentioned the people you won't reconcile with are the ones who think it's okay to hurt children.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. I mean, we for years as conservatives have said, I pride myself on being able to be friends with people who I disagree with, but like that does not include pedophiles or people who protect pedophiles.
Oh, of course.
Agreed. Yeah. I do think as a people, I want to believe that we all know the difference between right and wrong. I just believe that some of us lie to ourselves or choose what's convenient at the moment. But I think deep inside, most of us know the difference between right and wrong.
I think so too.
I think the law is written on every man's heart. I do believe that you can start to obscure that writing, and then it becomes difficult for you to see the more you habituate yourself towards wrongdoing, because there are some evil people who really have rerouted their brains towards seeing good as evil and evil as good.
Yep. Totally agree.
True. With that being said, guys, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Thank you so much for calling me out, Shane. First time I've ever done anything like this. Thank you, Alex, Seamus. Pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. God bless.
I just want to let you guys know you guys are some really hardworking guys, and I really respect that. And I'm rooting for you guys. And thank you for taking my call.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your service.
Appreciate that, man. Yeah,
my pleasure. Oh, and happy Veterans Day to all the combat
Veterans
veterans.
Day tomorrow. That's right.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, love you guys. Take care. Be safe.
Thank you. And everyone is a hard worker except for Seamus.
Except for me, I'm super lazy.
Freeloader.
Absolute freeloader. This couch actually, it's where I sleep.